I'm told a lot.
A lot. Okay, so what do you call someone who's told a lot of lies?
A fibber.
A fibber. Nah, I don't know about that. But it's a word that rhymes with the word fire.
Liar.
Exactly. Have you ever stolen anything, even if it was small?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you call somebody who steals things?
A thief.
Okay. So what does that make you?
A thief.
Well, actually, it makes you a lying thief, correct?
A lying thief, right? He's
All right.
good, baby.
So
Yeah.
have you
A dead lying thief.
have you ever used the Lord's have you ever used the Lord's name in vain? Used His name as a cuss word?
Yes, I have.
Okay, that's called blasphemy. Very serious. In the Old Testament, they actually used to stone people to death for that. I'm very glad we don't live in Old Testament days, because I would have been stoned to death several times over. Very, very, very thankful for that. So, one more, and I appreciate your honesty. So, you know that in the Bible it says you shouldn't commit adultery. But Jesus said, even if you look at a woman with lust, you've committed adultery in your heart. So if you ever looked at a person with lust,
Yeah.
okay. So I want to be clear, Matthew. This is not me judging you. This is you've admitted to me that you're a lying, thieving, blasphemous adulterer at heart.
Yeah.
And so I have bad news for you. You're just like the rest of us.
You're going to hell, motherfucker.
Yeah, can you see that? So the problem is when we think good, we think by our own standard. And our standard is like, hey, between me and Hitler, I look great. But that's not what the definition of good is. The definition of good is actually from God, meaning His moral excellence. Does that make sense, Matthew?
What, good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It depends if you come from
'Cause you gotta have
pagans or not.
Well, the issue is
Well,
you have to have a
yeah.
standard, right?
Yeah.
Right? You have to have a
Yeah.
standard.
Right.
So and I'm saying if, I'll premise this with if today was a day, and it's allotted once for men to die, and then the judgment. So if today was the day that you died and you're standing in front of God, and He judges you by His commands, everything that He said we shouldn't do and everything we should do, is He going to find you innocent or guilty of breaking His commands?
No, because God is on his side.
Yeah, right. If God does
Well, hold on.
forgive.
This is Matthew. We haven't gotten into yours yet. We're talking to Matthew. So,
Okay.
So Matthew, is he going to find you? Is he going to find you innocent or guilty of breaking His commands?
Is that a trick question?
Well, no, because you've already admitted to the fact that you broke His commands. So you can be assured that, obviously, if you've already admitted to breaking His laws, He would find you guilty of breaking them, right?
Right.
So then, if He's good, and this is all premised with the word if He's good, and if He's righteous, would a good and righteous God send you to heaven or send you to hell for breaking His commands?
Doesn't that depend on if they've, like, done his sin box thing or whatever they call it?
Yeah, I don't know what that
Sin
is.
box.
So, and
You
again,
know what I'm on about, you
this I'm asking Matthew, so I'm happy to ask you as well. But
Oh, no,
right
I was
now
just
we're
asking
talking
Matthew
from
myself because I
Matthew's
don't know.
perspective. Yeah, no, it's okay. So the sin box. You're talking about confession.
Yeah, that's the one.
Roman Catholicism.
Yeah, that's the word. Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah,
fair
no,
enough.
that's baloney.
Okay, fair enough.
So, anyways, Matthew. So, should God, as a good and righteous God, send you to heaven, or should He send you to hell for breaking His commands?
I think He should send me to heaven.
Why should He send you to heaven?
Because He's all about forgiveness, right?
Well, He is, but let's think about something for a minute. If God, who is righteous and good and just forgives you and sends you to heaven, that would make Him also corrupt, right? It would make His laws be nothing, because you have a penalty to pay in your sin, So if he just sent you to heaven, it would mean he's a corrupt judge, right? And if you think about the civilian courts, if we saw somebody who was guilty, the judge says, you're guilty of doing some heinous crime, but you know what? I'm going to forgive you. I'm going to let you go. We'd say that judge was corrupt. We'd kick him off the bench, right? Justice has to be served. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So Matthew, does it concern you that if, let me preface this again with if God judged you today and gave you justice, that he would send you to hell? Does that concern you?
No.
Why not?
But probably need to go there. I don't know. Maybe.
No,
that's
you're right. But I mean, I just met you. Okay, I'm here because I love you. I don't want anybody to go to hell. You seem like a nice guy. And so the worst part about hell is going to be that it's forever. I mean, that's scary. Anything that's going to stink forever. There's no parole. There's no getting out. I don't want you to go there. So
who's to say this world we live in isn't already hell?
No, this is nothing like hell. And this ends. You know, we get out of here. Eventually we die. Then we pass on. We pass on to something next. So, do you know, Matthew, what our God, who is forgiving, and you're right, he is forgiving, what he did for guilty sinners like you and I, so we wouldn't have to go there?
He sacrificed himself.
Bam! You nailed it. 2,000 years ago, the reason why we're celebrating Christmas right now is because he, as a loving and God full of grace and mercy, sent his son, Jesus Christ, to be born miraculously of a virgin. He lived a perfect life. He never sinned once. He did everything that was good and righteous in the eyes of his Father. And then he did something incredible. He went to the cross to pay the price for your sins, for my sins, for the sins of the whole world. Because he didn't just die on the cross. God showed up and actually poured out his wrath on him for every sin we've ever done and every sin we ever will do. And then right before he died, he said something very odd for a man nailed to a cross. Do you know what he said?
No.
He said, "It is finished." What he's saying, Matthew, is your debt is paid, 100%. And then he died. And if he had stayed dead, you and I wouldn't have any hope. But what happened 3 days later?
Didn't he resurrect?
You're exactly right. He came back from the dead, proving that he was who he said he was, God himself, and that he could do what he said he did when he said, "It is finished." Your debt is paid. He was seen by his apostles. He was seen by 500 other people over the course of 40 days. And then he ascended into heaven. And right now, he is seated at the right hand of the Father. And he loves you, Matthew, so much that he wants you to know this good news so much. He's sending me into video games.
Shut up.
I could not take it any fucking more.
Fucking hell, man. Religious fuck.
Jesus Christ. Holy fuck nuggets.
Oh my god. Sorry, it was doing my head in. I'm not religious and everything, but fucking hell, I don't want no priest preach shit, man. I'm playing DayZ for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I was gonna ask him, like, do you ever kill anybody?
Right, let's take all my shit back. Wait a minute, give me a sec. Let me get my shit back.
He's got a cult on him.
He hasn't really got anything I want on him actually. Oh, my chlorine pills can come back to me. I have my lockpick back. I have my bandages back. Right, cool.
He's pissed.
So
Hope he
bloody
can forgive
fool.
us.
Fuck, man. Thank God I'm not religious, eh?
Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, in my head, I'm like, damn, I don't fucking go to church to fucking listen to that shit. You know? I do it more so for meditation purposes.
Did you hear that outside? Is that a zombie or is that
Yeah,
actual?
Sounded like a zombie.
Okay. We've got a lot of zombies out there now.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Did he have a knife? That's one thing I haven't got. Oh yeah, I have. I want
Yeah,
salt boots.
me too.
What I'm gonna do is chop this dude up just in case he comes back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do feel sorry for shooting him in the head, but it was just doing my head in.
Yeah.
I put that stuff on record as well, man. I recorded the whole thing. Right, now we've got to try and get out of this zombie fest.
Should be pretty easy.
Pew, 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 pew.